So the fruit that I had was lingonberries. Lingonberries are a Scandinavian fruit. The first part of the word lingonberry is actually Swedish, and it stands for, if one translated into English, it means mountain cranberry. So sometimes you can actually find lingonberries, they'll be called mountain cranberries, or some other names would be whortleberries and cowberries as well. Lingonberries are very, very similar to cranberries in taste, look, and also some of the health benefits that they have, and we'll go through those in a second. So it's a Scandinavian fruit. It's found in like colder climates, Arctic, subarctic regions. They grow in really dense evergreen like shrubs, kind of just like how all berries are. To go through some health benefits, they have so many powerful antioxidants, and they're called polyphenols. So lingonberries are good for cancer protection, oral health, they have antibacterial properties, inflammation, so people who have arthritis or joint pain, lingonberries have the ability to reduce inflammation. Urinary tract infections, so remember how I just said they're a lot like cranberries. Whenever you have a urinary tract infection, you go to the doctor, they're going to tell you to drink cranberry juice. So lingonberries also have the same property to help with urinary tract infections. In the Austrian folk medicine, they actually specifically use cranberries to treat urinary tract infections. They also use it for gastrointestinal tract disorders and kidney disorders as well. And then in Russian folk medicine, they actually use lingonberries as a mild laxative. So in the state of Georgia, you can't really find the actual lingonberry. I went to about 5 different grocery stores, and every time I went in and asked for one, they looked at me like I was absolutely crazy. But in the state of Georgia, you can buy something called lingonberry preserves, and it's the jam form of lingonberries. But luckily, my mom is actually Swedish, so she has a friend who is from Denmark, and they eat lingonberries as well, and she actually orders lingonberries every now and then, and luckily she had some for me to go try. Lingonberries are very expensive to order. It's about $40 for 2.5 pounds, and you can order them off a website called Northwest Wild Foods. So I unfortunately did not order them offline, but I did go over there to physically try them. I don't have any with me. She didn't let me take any home with me because they're expensive, and she knows that. But they taste a lot of like cranberries. They're very tart, same shape, same size. So I was very thankful that she let me try some. So in Georgia, you can buy something called lingonberry preserves. And actually, even in Sweden, I've been multiple times, and I've actually eaten lingonberries basically my whole life. Lingonberries is more so used as like it's almost like a side sauce for meals. It's kind of like the equivalent of how Americans eat ketchup. So a typical meal in Sweden would be mashed potatoes and meatballs, and you would have a side of lingonberry sauce, which you would eat with your meatballs. So basically any kind of like meat type stuff they use for lingonberries. And I wasn't always vegan. As you can see in my last video when I made my recipe actually wasn't vegan, so I had to have somebody else try it. When I used to eat meatballs, I would use lingonberry jam for that. So here you can buy lingonberry jam at IKEA, and I actually found some too at the DeKalb Farmers Market, any kind of store that has international foods, because lingonberry isn't like a Georgia, United States kind of thing to eat. So if you want the actual berries, you would have to order them offline. I went to 4 different grocery stores, and like I said, every time I went and asked for it, they looked at me like I was absolutely crazy. So, but for my recipe, I actually made like a lingonberry granola bar. I used flour, sugar, butter, eggs, chopped pecans. I kind of just eyeballed those myself. It said to use like 2/3 of a cup. And then my lingonberry preserves. So I mixed everything together besides the lingonberry, and it made like a crumbly mixture. I put it there in the pan, then I added lingonberry on top, and then I added the mixture on top again, popped into the oven for like 30-45 minutes until it got brown, and it made like a little chewy granola bar. So, and that was my recipe.